A very good evening, Zimbabwe. Welcome to the Women's Live Talk, where we speak about issues affecting women. This Thursday, October the 7th, 2021. I'm Marvelous Mfanganya, who are broadcasting from my home in Washington, D.C. due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
And I'm Praxedes Jeremiah, broadcasting from my home in Upper Marlboro in Maryland.
Yes, and welcome to everybody who's joining us tonight. Our topic tonight will be discussing about COVID-19, and we'll also be talking to some women who've actually managed to start some initiatives during this COVID-19. And as usual, we'll also delve into politics and profile some of the women that are also excelling during this COVID-19.
Yes, Marv, and we're going to talk about the figures, COVID-19 figures, which are slightly lowering down, and the numbers of those vaccinated going up. Both those that have gotten the first jab as well as both jabs, the first and second dose.
Yes, and PJ, according to the statistics coming in from the Ministry of Health, as of March last year, Zimbabwe has to date 131,434 confirmed cases of COVID-19, including recoveries that stand as 124,331, and unfortunately, some deaths which stand at 4,630. What are the figures looking like when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccination program, PJ?
Yeah, to date, a total of 3,140,685 people have been vaccinated against COVID-19. That is the first and second dose. Those that have been vaccinated who have just gotten both jabs at 2,358,223 that have been vaccinated. And I've also noticed that in schools, the numbers of cases of students and education personnel, that includes teachers and all the clerical administrative workers, who are testing positive. Of late, the number has been going really up. The majority of new cases was in schools. But as last week, it was averaging 1,267 people that were testing positive. But this week, that number came down tremendously to about 815.
Mm-hmm. And the Ministry of Health says it currently needs to vaccinate 10 million people for the country to achieve herd immunity. So they will be trying to intensify their vaccination programs. But we also heard from Dr. Mahomba of the Ministry of Health saying that one of the biggest downfalls that have come out of this program that they are trying to do is the misinformation that is being spread on social media. She went on to say that a lot of people are shunning getting the vaccine because of the information that they are getting through WhatsApp platforms, through Facebook, through Instagram and other platforms. So she was dissuading the public from trusting some of this information that comes and is shared on social media platforms, encouraging people to go to the health personnel to actually get the correct information when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine. Over to you, PJ from the Bele.
Yes, siyalamukela zihlobo kuhlelo lethu lamhlanje uhlelo asihluzeni bomama. Lapho ke esihluza indaba eziphathelane labomama ikakhulu ngalezi izikhathi zokumelana lobhubhane olwe COVID-19. Umongameli Emerson Mnangagwa kuThangi wengeze isikhathi sokusebenza kwemigoqo yokwenqabela ukumemetheka komkhuhlane wona lo owe-COVID-19 phansi kwezinga lesibili i-lockdown level 2 ngamanye amavikela amabili. Mnangagwa ukhuthaze uZulu ukubana aqhubeke ezivikela ngazo zonke izikhathi. Wakhuthaza njalo ukuthi ezigoqela usungasondelani duzane i-social distancing, ukugqoka ama-mask kanye lokugcoba imithi leyi yokuzivikela ama-sanitizers, ukuhlanzeka. Umphathintambo wokwethulwa kwemibiko unkosikazi Monica Mutsvangwa laye utshele intathelizindaba ngemva komhlangano wedale lekhabhinethi Kuthangi ukubana idale lekhabhinethi leli linqume ukuthi indawo ezithengisa utshwala lamabhawa sezingavulwa okwamanje, kodwa uthe kumele zivumele kuphela labo abanathayo abayabe behlatshiwe amajekiseni okuzivikela umkhuhlane womabili. Uthe njalo ulaka lwe-coronavirus solusehla ezikolo, nanku-ke labafundi labasebenza kwezemfundo okugoqela ababalisi asebefunyanwa bele COVID-19 lehlile lisuka phezu kwenkulungwane eyodwa 1267 ngeviki edluleyo laya kumakhulu amabili aphezu kwama-2,200 815. Abogatsha lwezempilakahle babika njalo ukuthi eleZimbabwe selenelise ukuhlaba abantu abedlula izigidi ezintathu 3.1 million ijekiseni leyi yokuzivikela ku-COVID-19, kodwa abangaba yizigidi ezedlula kancane ezimbili babo 2.4 million yibo asebehlatshiwe amajekiseni wonke omabili. Sizaphatha-ke ngalolu daba olwe-COVID-19 ukuthi omama labesifazane babhekane lanhlupho bani ngalezi sikhathi zobhubhane lolu. Ilizwe limelana njengawo wonke amazwe omhlaba limelana le-coronavirus. Sizoxoxa njalo labesifazane abayenza okuhle abaphumeleleyo laloba kulenhlupho zona lezi ezibangwe yi-COVID-19 khonapha kuhlelo lwethu lwalamhlanje. Marvelous.
Aiwa, tinochingamidza vese vari pachirongwa chedu pari zvino. Nhasi pachirongwa chedu chemadzimai nemusi wechina kudai October 7, 2021 tichange tiri kukurukura pamusoro pezviri kutarisana nemadzimai panguva ino yeCovid-19, uyezve tichitarisawo kuti pane mamwe madzimai pari zvino vari kukwanisa kunge ivo vari kuita zvidava-dava munguva inoyi yepandemic sekutaura kuri kuitwa pasi rose. Asi tombotarisa isu mamiriro akaita uwandu hwevanhu vabatwa nedenda iri reCovid-19 pari zvino. Bazi rezveutano rinozivisa iro kuti kubva muna Machi gore rapfuura pakatanga denda iri reCovid-19, nyika yeZimbabwe pari zvino ine vanhu 131,434 vawanikwa ivo vachibatwa nedenda iri reCovid-19. Totarisa zvakare kuti pane vanhu 124,331 vakabatwa nedenda iri reCovid-19 vakarikunda. Asi pozosuwisawo zvakare nekuti pane vanhu 4,630 vakabatwa nedenda iri vakatisiya. Totarisa kuti pari zvino hurumende nebazi rezveutano vari paphase 2 yekubayiwa ivo kwenhomba yeCovid-19. Nyika pari zvino yabaya vanhu vanodaudzira 3.1 million, uyezve vari kutarisira ivo kuti vachange vari kubaya vanhu vanosvika 10 million kuitira kuti nyika iwane iyo yainoti herd immunity. Saka ndo zvimwe zvinhu zvachange tiri kukurukura. Ipo pano tichitarisa zvakare mamwe mabasa ari kubatwa nemadzimai vari kunzvimbo dzakasiyana-siyana panguva ino yeCovid-19. Tozopinda zvakare munyaya dzezvematongerwo enyika, asi regai timbotanga nekutora mumwe munyarikani wedu vari pano timbonzwawo kuti ivo vari kubata mabasa api panguva ino yeCovid-19. Tinokuchingamidzai nemufaro pano pachirongwa chedu. Tiudzeiwo kuti ndimi ani uyezve kuti mabasa api amuri kubata panguva ino yeCovid-19.
Tinotenda chaizvo. Thank you very much. Internet wa Shingi Fundera and ndiri based ku United Kingdom, so UK. And pandemic, there's a lot that has been happening, and I managed to sort of pursue a goal, a dream, life coaching. So Indonesia as a side hustle, and it came about after having to listen kunevanu vakasiyana siyana chimo zvavaita in terms of namo zawaenda through, because we all lost a friend, a sister, a brother. We lost somebody, you know, even if it was like a work colleague. And also vamwe vakaruza mabasa avo, vamwe vanga vakuenda through anxiety, through depression, and some mentally they were not stable, so they just needed somebody to talk to. They just needed a listening ear. Some people just needed a shoulder to cry on. And it just dropped in my spirit, because I like I mentioned, I talked to a lot of different people. Sagandaka nyora buku rinonzi identity crisis, unlock the hidden treasure within you. And rino bata bata zvinhu zvakasiyana in terms of family, friends, career, money, you yourself in terms of urikuda kuenda kupi, urikubva kupi, if you're stuck, what are you going to do? And also discovering iwewe semunhu kuti chandakanzi ndiite pano pasi, chandakasikirwa kunzi ndiite pano pasi chi. Because a lot of us, we think we know who we are, but we then get to a stage in life where we're old and we're looking back and we're regretting because we never managed to look within our souls, look within our deeper hearts, or to try and find out what is it that makes us happy, what is it that makes us who we are, what is it that, you know, makes us wake up in the morning and be able to actually embrace the gift of life and embrace that which we are called to do. Saka buki rino bata bata zvakawanda chaizvo, whether you are young, middle age, old age. It also tells you kuti age is not a limiting factor, but tinosviisa tinoreconditionwa kuudzwa kunzi kana ukasvika nguva yakati hauchakwanisa kudai, ukasvika apa hauchakwanisa kudai. What it does is it provokes you to think deeper and think about what you want to do.
Aiwa, imbobatai makadaro timboenda kuna PJ atorewo mumwe munyarikani wedu watinaye pari zvino, tozodzoka zvedu nokuti nhasi tine basket chairo, tine gango, tine zvakawanda zvatichange tiri kukupakurira ipo pano. Tiyapinda mune zvematongerwo enyika nezvimwewo, but regai tingoenda kuna PJ atipakurirewo kune vamwe vakatimirira ipo pano. PJ.
Siyawamukela Nkosazana Lifa.
Okay, Miss Lifa, I think you are muted, but let me unmute you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
Siyawamukela kunjani mama?
Ngiyaphila njani nakhona ngapha?
Hayi siphilile mpela. Yini eliseZimbabwe. Njalo umumo liyawubona owe COVID-19, wezombusazwe. Nanku umongameli Emerson Mnangagwa wethule umbiko wakhe edale leParliament esebenzisa ubulembu virtually owe State of the Nation address. Konke khona lokho ungasichasisela ngamafitshane wena ngokubona kwakho ukuthi kuhamba njani? Siqale nge-COVID-19 situation.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu PJ. Njengoba usutshilo kube yisikhathi esinzima kakhulu kubantu abaningi abaselizweni lapha eZimbabwe. Kusukela nyakenye ngo-2020 kuqalisa udaba lobhubhane lwe-COVID-19, abantu abaningi bathola ukuthi indlela kade bephila ngayo bekungasaphileki, ama-source of livelihoods ngesilungu okuningi kwangikhona bese kunzima ukuthi bakwenze ngesikhathi se-COVID-19. So abantu abaningi bese kumele ukuthi baguqule indlela abaphila ngayo, indlela abasebenza ngayo. Yakhanya ukuthi njengoba usitsho ukuthi umongameli wethule udaba lwakhe virtually bese sokuyindlela abantu abasebenza ngayo. But nxa ukhangele eZimbabwe iningi lethu besingajwayelanga ukuthi kuthiwa uyasebenza usendlini, besingazilungiselelanga ukusebenza sihlezi ezindlini zethu. Uyafica ukuthi besingela indlela yokungena ebulenjini, besingela konke okudingakalayo. Kodwa siyenelisile. Ngingathi nxa sikhangela lapha esivela khona lalapha esesikhona lo nyaka, ngingathi iningi labantu lenelisile ukuthi ba-adjuste, baguqule indlela abasebenza ngayo ukuthi senelise ukuziphilisa. Yindaba enzima kakhulu, ama-lockdown, abantu abaningi bekuvaliwe indlela abaphila ngayo bengasenelisi. Kodwa abantu abaningi benelisile ukuthi benelise ukusebenza lapha lalaphiya, babambe lokhu lalokhuyana ukuze benelise ukuphilisa imuli zabo. Akulula, kodwa sikhona, siyaphila.
Ungathi nxa ukhangele emuva i-internet connectivity isingcono khathesi na nxa uqathanisa lalapho singakabi ku-lockdown?
Ngingathi isingcono in terms of i-connectivity ukuthi uyenelisa ukuthi uconnect usebenze, but intengo yangikhona ilokhu iphezulu kakhulu PJ, okokuthi iningi labantu alenelisi ukuthi babhadale intengo eziyabe zifunakala. Ungakhangela nxa ungumzali kuyabe kumele ukhangele ukuthi uyathenga isinkwa sabantwana yini, kumbe uyathenga i-data bundle yokuthi ungene ebulenjini. Kusuka kube nzima kumzali ukuthi wenelise ukuthi utsho ukuthi ngingathenga ngidinge ukuthi ngiye ebulenjini ngitholani mina labantu abami. So kusuka kube yizinqumo ezinzima ebazalini abanengi ngenxa yokuthi kuba nzima ukuthi ubone ukuthi kuyini impumela oyitholayo ebambekayo ngokuthi uthenge ama-data bundles kumbe wenelise ubhadalele ama-subscription okuthi wenze njalo. Maningi amankampani aseyenza lokhu, so kuyabe kuqakathekile ukuthi umuntu akhangelisise leyi laleyana, akhompe abone ukuthi yiphi engcono, yiphi elentengo engcono, yiphi eyenza ukuthi enelise ukusebenza nxa esebulenjini. Kunzima kodwa at least ama-choices angikhona asemaningi, abantu bayenelisa ukuthi bakhangele leyi laleyana bakhethe engabi ngcono ibasebenzela.
Abantu bona njengokuyekethiswa kuke kuqiniswe ama-lockdown angikhona abe ku-level 1, 2, 3, 4. Abantu sebekujayela yini?
Ukujayela siyazama kodwa akujwayeleki ngenxa yokuthi awenelisi, you can't plan ahead. Awungeke ube kwazi njengakathesi I think kunyanga ezinhlanu eziyisithupha ezidluleyo besilokhu sithola ama-announcements ngemva kwamaviki amabili. Lokhu kutsho ukuthi ngamaviki wona amabili uyabe ungakwazi ukuthi amaviki lawa angaphela amabili sesisiya ngaphi njengelizwe, siyabe sesiku-stage bani. Ngakho kuba nzima ukuthi wenze esingathi long term planning. Sesiphila nje ngawona la maviki ukuthi hayi njengokakathesi kusavuliwe yekela ngigijime ngenze lokhu lalokhuyana, ngingazi-ke ngamaviki amabili abuyayo kuyabe sekuguqukile ngizabona ukuthi ngizayenzani amaviki amabili lawa ngaphela. So siyajayela ngoba kula ngenye indlela kodwa kunzima sibe lokuthi siyenelise ukuplana with ama-time limits wona lawa ama-2 weeks, but akule esingakwenza ngenxa yokuthi i-COVID ikhona, kumele siphile lakho.
Kumele siphile layo. Sikhangeleke ekuhlatshweni imijovo leyi e-COVID-19 vaccines. Luyaqhubeka kangakanani lolu hlelo? Abantu bayaluzwisisa njalo bayalwamukela na?
Kuhlangene PJ, ngingathi bakhona abanye abasukumela phezulu vele kuqalisa bayahlaba kodwa inani lakhona lalivele liphansi kakhulu. I think omunye wakhuluma like lakhuluma ngokuthi kule mbiwo eminingi esuka ichiyachiyane ebantwini yenze kube nzima ukuthi abantu bathathe izinqumo ngempilo zabo. Ngiyasebenza lapho esikhuluma khona nge-misinformation, le-fact checking. Kuyakhanya ukuthi nxa sikhuluma nge-COVID-19 lama-vaccine kusuka kube lembiwo eminingi engene ebantwini, abantu basuke bengasakwazi ukuthi okuliqiniso yikuphi, okungamanga yikuphi, nxa kuthi ngidinga iqiniso ngilithola ngaphi. And then I think also abantu njengabantu vele sinjalo ukuthi lapho kusokuthe kwaba lenani labantu abaningi abathola lumkhuhlane siyasukuma ngobuningi sithi siyehlaba. Kungathi ukuthi kuyayekethisa lathi sesirelaxa sesiyekethisa ngoba ngiyabona kathesi ama-numbers angikhona sengani semalutshwana abantu abahambayo ukuyahlaba. Nxa sikhompela laphana ngesikhathi ngoJune, July laphana abantu abaningi bethola i-COVID-19. So engingakutsho ukuthi abantu siyenza sirelaxa siphinde sethuke siyehlaba sibuye sirelaxe nxa layo ingani i-COVID sasixolele. So kuqakathekile ukuthi abantu bangameleli ukuthi size sigule kumbe uzubone omunye wakho emulini esegula, kodwa ukuthi sikhangele ukuthi hayi vele ama-numbers zona ayangaphi kwezinye indawo emhlabeni, ngoba even nxa kungabe kuyekethisile mbijana lapha siyabe sibona ukuthi kwezinye indawo hayi ayekethisanga, ngabe lokhu ebuya ama-wave angikhona elandelana. So kuqakathekile ukuthi sihambele phambili sihlabeni, sihlale silungiselele ukuthi lalapho ibuya at least sithole sesihlabile njengabantu abaningi.
Emaphandleni khona isabalale okungakanani, ingaba yi-misinformation, ingaba yi-the right information, njoba nakade usitsho sithi ku-social media kukhanya ngani kusabalala imibiko engayisiyo ngezinye zezikhathi.
I think kuqakathekile PJ ukuthi nxa sikhuluma labantu abasemaphandleni, ngabe ngabazali bethu, izihlobo, sibe lathi esemadolobheni sibanika imbiko eyiyo eqondileyo. ngake ngahleka kwesinye isikhathi ngenyanga edluleyo. Ngangilo mngani wayesithi unina uyabe lokhu ehamba ezitolo esiya ezimfeni esithi kuye, hayi mama ungabe ulokhu uhamba ngoba kulani kule COVID phandle la. Unina wasesithi kuye, hayi mntanami ungabi le ndaba ngoba mina lapha nsuku zonke siyathesta for i-COVID. Uthe busithesta ngani umama wakhe wasesithi, hayi nxa singena vele ezitolo bayasi-check-a basithest. So yena kuye i-temperature checking wayecabanga ukuthi bathestelwa yona i-COVID. So kuba nzima ngenxa yokuthi yena uyabe engasathathi lezinye amanye amalungiselelo okumele akwenze ukuthi azivikele ngoba ecabanga ukuthi hayi vele thina siyathestwa asilayo. So yona le imbiko, I think sometimes ayisiyo i-misinformation per se, but ikhona lokho ukuthola imbiko engaphelelanga ukuthi uyabe ungasakwazi ukuthi lokhu sithestwani lapha sichekwani kwenzelwani. So sometimes I think kuqakathekile lemaphandleni ukuthi sinike abantu esingathi i-full information, i-information nje epheleleyo ngakho konke ukwenzela ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi bakhetheni, bayenze njani, bathathe izinqumo bani ngokuzivikela impilo zabo lezihlobo zabo.
Ya, ikakhulu emaphandleni baningi abazali vele asebekhulile othi ungabatshela ukuthi lingayi emfeni.
Hayi vele abavumi.
Marvelous.
Yeah, let me come in there and just ask Lip about the issue of misinformation. I heard her saying something. If you can just tell us what's the situation like when it comes to misinformation on the issues surrounding the COVID-19 vaccine and COVID-19 itself. What are you seeing on the ground?
Thank you, Marvelous. I think we've come a long way since the first cases were detected last year. In the beginning, we had people who really didn't even believe that COVID-19 was a thing. They thought that it was just a thing that we're hearing from other places and other people and wasn't going to get here. It's much different now, but we still have a lot of misinformation around the vaccines themselves. And I think it's because people are getting a lot of information, as the WHO says about this infodemic. We are getting a lot of people who are getting information from various sources, but people don't know how to gauge that this source is the right source or this one is not. So we tend to take all the information that we're getting out there, and there are a lot of people who are anti-vaccination, and this is a problem for most people because when they get the information and they consume it, they really don't have the skills to tell whether this is legit information, is this source legitimate, should I be believing what I'm seeing here? So that all things that we see on social media, on the internet is not true. That's a problem that we are still struggling with as Zimbabweans, both in the rural areas and in the urban centers, I would say.
Thank you so much. I'm going to now move over to our second guest so that we can carry on and just hear about her book and what she has been doing there in the United Kingdom. Tell us a little bit about what inspired you to come up with a book during a pandemic when everybody is kind of shying away from starting something new.
I think it was long time coming, to be honest, because I always used to keep like journals. I've got quite a few journals where I would write few bits, nuggets here and there. And for the longest time, or my friends or even people I used to talk to be like, when's your book coming up? When is your book coming up? And I never really thought, let me sit down and write a book, because now you have to think about a theme, you have to think about a topic, because it's easy to speak to people, but then gathering all those thoughts into one book that actually flows from beginning to end does take quite a bit of time. So because I had so much time on my plate and I was also working from home, I thought I might as well make use of this time. You know, a lot of people found out they could bake, some people found out they could cook, some people found out they could sing, they could do all these things because all of a sudden we all had so much time on our hands, restrictions, we couldn't go out, we couldn't do much. So I had to sort of like divert the extra time that I had and put it into writing. But I also have a passion, as I mentioned earlier. I am a life coach. I do tend to talk a lot, but I also tend to listen more than I talk. So I thought,
what does a life coach do? What exactly do you do as a life coach?
So as a life coach, what you do is you try and bring the best out of people. So sometimes you know what you want to do, but you don't have an idea of how to do it. Or sometimes you're procrastinating and you don't know how to work around that procrastination. Sometimes you've got so much, but you don't know which one to go for. So it's already within you. So what a life coach does is they come to help you to then take you to the next step. So we don't give you answers, but we sort of like poke, we provoke, we ask leading questions, and we set out a plan, we set out a program, because it has to come from you. Because if we tell you what to do, then it's not about you, but about us. But it's like you are encouraged and you're motivated to then take the direction that you've been intending to, but for some reason you just don't find that strength in you to do so.
And what are some of the challenges that you're seeing women especially saying they are facing during this COVID-19 to move to the next level?
I think motivation, number one, support as well, because as women, you are mostly looked at as somebody who's supposed to look, for example, after the household. If you're married, you're supposed to look after the family, the kids, the husband, and everything else. And by the time you want to then come and do your own stuff, you don't necessarily have enough capacity. Sometimes you have to go the extra mile. And I think with the COVID-19, it's impacted not just women alone, but men as well equally. But however, touching back on women, there are certain things that a lot of people would do. For example, if you're like self-employed, you know, and if you were plaiting hair, for example, and all of a sudden there are restrictions, you can't go out or you can't have people coming in, that is a challenge in itself. So then there goes your income, there goes your money, you know, stuff that you do to put on the table. And I think women are considered to be strong emotionally, but we also go through stuff. And because we're considered to be strong, there's nobody to actually check up on us to say, are you okay? So a lot of women have gone through anxiety, depression, some panic attacks, emotional turmoil, but because mukadzi munu anovakamusha murizwe musha, so we haven't really seen women being supported mentally in that aspect.
Tomboti pane madzimai akateerera pari zvino vari kuti ndingatangawo sei zvandiri kuda kuita panguva ino yeCovid-19. Chii chamungavataurirewo chekuvashingisa panguva ino yeCovid-19?
Okay. So you have to look at what you are good at. Because umwe neumwe akapiwa talenta rake, umwe neumwe ane chikamu chake, umwe neumwe ane nzira yake. You have to look at yourself and ask yourself, what am I good at? How can I then invest? By invest, I mean giving more time, finding ways, finding resources, finding that support. And support is not necessarily financial support, but you're looking for links. I do this. This is what I'm doing. Do you know somebody who needs or requires this service? For example, ndatara nyaya yokuruka. Unogona kuruka hama yako kana shamwari yako, word of mouth, it can go a long way. You start cooking in your own house, you know, bit by bit. You're doing much more orders. Before you know it, parties, you start small, you start somewhere. The goal is in taking that first step. And the goal is understanding that even though the market may seem flooded, there's always room for you. And I always give example yemvura. Ukapinda shop, mune different brands of water, but you always go after the one farira. So all I can say is somebody is gonna buy your product, somebody wants your resources, somebody wants your skills, somebody wants your talent. So just get up, just do it.
Maybe let's also turn to Lifa, who's actually in Zimbabwe. Can you comment on what Ms. Fundira is saying here about, you know, what women should be doing at this time if they have some kind of talent, even though there is a pandemic?
Yes, thank you. I think I totally agree with her. I think the trick is to just start, just get out there and do it. I think sometimes we tend to overthink things, especially as women, because sometimes we're not socialized to be aggressive about things that we want, to go out there and start. So I think it's encouraging if you can have some friends or family who can support you, and you can start even small, start with what you can, with what you have. I think the challenge is that sometimes you want to start with a lot of money. I'm thinking capital. I'm thinking I don't have the resources that I need, but sometimes just having me and my family is enough for that small start. So I think it's something that women in Zimbabwe can do. And I think it is something that women in Zimbabwe have been doing. I think with this economy, I'd say women are beginning to fare even better than men because they are beginning to go out there and hustle and do things that I think a woman is more likely to go out there and do something than let her children starve. And we haven't been socialized to think too big, so nothing is too small for us. Even if it means going to the neighbors and doing a laundry, I can do that. But for men, usually they want to have a laundry business and be doing dry cleaning out there. But for a woman, we can go there and start with doing the neighbor's laundry. And I think it's something that we need to encourage each other to do. Don't look down upon on anything. Just go out there and do what you can and work it from there.
Aiwa, tinotenda chaizvo tiri kunzwa vanyarikani vedu vari kutaura vachiti ivo madzimai musatye kutanga pauri ipapo kana uine chipo kana chekuruka kana chekubheka, tanga uri pauri ipapo womboshanda nehama neshamwari. Unozoona kuti chaunenge uchigona kana uchibika makeke, vamwe vanhu vakadya keke rako iroro vachazokukokawo kuti tine muchato ngatibikirwo here. PJ.
Yeah. Lizwile lapho-ke unkosazana Fundira ekhuluma useNgilandi khona ngale sithenana asithathe nini ithuba lona leli bomama senze sikhanyise izibani zethu lapho esikhona ukuze siphumelele. Yebo sibhekane lezinhlupho eziningi okudalwe kuqhamuka kwalolu bhubhane olwe COVID-19. Kodwa-ke sibabonile omama sebesiba innovative khona ngapho ngaseZimbabwe. Lifa ungasichasisela ngamafitshane ukuthi kuyini okunye obone kuphuma kubomama ngalesi sikhathi sobhubhane lwe-COVID-19?
Ngiyabonga PJ. Ngingathi mina ulutho olukhona sibili olubambekayo olungimangalisileyo lami ngibona omama bekwenza is how they've embraced i-online selling, marketing. And nxa sikhuluma nge-online ngiyawasayidi nalisemazweni licabanga into ezinkulu kakhulu, but kithi khonokho nje ukuthengisa nge-WhatsApp. Ukuthi uyabukwazi ukuthi labangani bakho bona laba abantu sebeqalisile bawoda impahla zabo eGoli. Kuqala abantu babethemba ukuthi uyabuya umalayitsha, but sesibonile ukuthi hayi umalayitsha ngani amabhoda ayahlupha. But senelisa ukuthi uyathola umuntu ama-runners akho abaseGoli abazathenga ubathumezele ukuthi hayi ngifuna lokhu lalokhu lalokhu, ama-customer amangapha bakuthumezele la wenelisa ukuthengisa ngapha. And ikakhulu futhi le word of mouth ukuthi kulezinto njengoba besingasenelisi ukuthi ngihambe ngiyefika koBulawayo ngiyefika eHarare but ulutho ngiyalufuna, so senza khuluma lo mngani wami ukuthi ayingidingi ulutho olunje la yantshela ukuthi hayi kulo mngani wami onje othengisayo ngakwanisa ukukutholela lokho. So I've seen a lot of women abakwenzayo khona lokhu, indaba zokuthengisa, indaba impahla zekitchen, impahla zokugqoka, impahla zenwele, konke khona lokho. And I've seen abanye asebeqalisile even ukulima nje in your backyard. Lokhana sasilakho ukuthi hayi vele uyahawutshona usiye emarket usiyathenga lokhu lalokhuyana. Abantu sebeqalisile ukuzilimela sona lesi space esincane laso ngeva kweyadi yakho ngaphi ngapha. Abantu sebeqalisile ukulima. Nxa sengilimile sengithengisela lami umakhelwane khona lokhu nje ngiyathola imali yokuthengela abantwana isitshebo, ngithenge kumbe isinkwa, ngihambisa abantwana esikolo, ngibhadalele ama-private lessons. So I've seen omama abaningi abasukenileyo benza imisebenzi echiyachiyeneyo okuqhubayo isikhathi njalo kuwenelisa ukuthi bakhangele imuli zabo nje PJ.
Banakele izimuli zabo. Njalo ukuthi ubulembu engxenye abanye abantu bayacabangela ukuthi kuba le website, kuba labo Facebook, hatshi i-WhatsApp yona leyo isetshenziswe okungakanani nxa ukhangela?
I-WhatsApp ngibona ngani yiyo esisetshenziswe ukwedlula konke okuningi.
Ezinye zonke inkundla.
Zonke ezinye indlela ngoba nxa sikhangele le ntengo yangikhona fica ukuthi wonke amankampani ezocingo, ama-mobile network providers, uyafica ukuthi balama-data bundles awe-WhatsApp. So ukuthi la nxa ungela mali akuthathi imali eningi, akusebenzisi idatha eningi, nje ukuthola wena le data bundle yakho oyenelisayo, uthengisa into zakho, ufake ama-picture akho, abantu babone, batshelane, bafone. Ngoba siyananzelela ukuthi abantu abaningi nxa becabanga ama-websites sokuyinto ezidurayo, sokumele ube lo muntu ozakudizayinela, ozenza lokhu lalokhu. But I've seen a lot of women abaqalisileyo, abanye baqalisa sibili ngawo ama-WhatsApp ethengisa, sebeze benelisa ngayona le lockdown ukuthola kuzindawo kwabo emarket lapha sebeze bele space abo sibili sokuthengisa okukhanyayo. Beqalise ngakhona lokho kwe-WhatsApp, beqalise nje ngabangane lapha lalaphayana bathengisa, baphumelela bagcina sebelamankampani.
WhatsApp uyakwanisa njalo ukusebenzelana even labo Facebook ukuthi uhlambazele izinto zakho uzithengise ebulenjini.
Yeah, ngenxa ukuthi i-Facebook usually njengoba isihlangene okokuthi nxa uposta ama-picture akho ku-WhatsApp ulakho ukuthi vele ngesikhathi esifanayo uhle angene la ku-Facebook yakho. And nanzelela ukuthi ngenxa yama-lockdown labantu babesibona hayi izinto ze-social media abazingeni abafuni ukuthenga online abantu abangabaziyo, but ngenxa yokuthi izitolo besezivalile kwesinye isikhathi i-lockdown ibivele isikhona. And I think abantu were now forced to go outside the box bacabange ukuthi baqalise lokuthenga ngendawo ababengazisebenzisi before. So I think it has been an opportunity for mama abanengi senelisa i-WhatsApp inhle futhi ngenxa yokuthi lemakhaya uyafica ukuthi izalukazi emakhehla sebelayo i-WhatsApp, so akuseyinto leyana vele nxa abantu sebekhuluma kathesi nge-online. I think so ngani vele i-WhatsApp into esihlezi silayo asisayiconsider lokuthi into e-sophisticated, and I think that has helped abantu abaningi kakhulu. Le-Facebook i-Facebook ngingathi eZimbabwe vele into esetshenziswa kakhulu yi-WhatsApp le-Facebook. Yikho lapho uthola khona ama-customer akho uthengise uxoxisane lama-customer akho kalula nje.
Ngaleliyana langa izidisappear i-WhatsApp le. Bathele nzima njani abantu?
Abantu angazi, I think sokusiya ngokuthi umuntu wangikhona ujayele ukutshona kangakanani eku-WhatsApp. Kulabanye eyathi vele isiba down bahle bananzelela masinya ukuthi kanti ihamba njani khanya angisekho. Mina personally I think i-Wi-Fi yami ngayilayita ngayicisha ngayilayita kaningi nje mangela ukuthi kanti kuhamba njani lapha. But ngemva kokunanzelela awuseyiboni ukuthi I think siyabonga ukuthi kwaba yibusuku obubodwa kuphela ngoba hayi I think kule nto eziningi ezizawonakala lapha PJ.
We're talking about the tools on the different platforms that are being used by women. So I was asking when social media went down, what happened? And she was telling me that she was switching on and off the Wi-Fi, the phone, which is the same thing that I was doing.
Actually, I'm not sure who let's see. I'm trying to see because I can hear something is now it's stopped now. So thank you there, PJ. You were just sharing, the what we're seeing on the ground, and I saw Jessica also there, and I indeed smiling, but I'm not sure there's some interaction coming from somebody. Okay, Miss Sindura, I think try and speak so we can hear if it's coming from your end.
Okay,
go ahead.
Can you hear me? Is it coming from my end?
I think so, because it's the minute you log out and come back in. So, these are the challenges that you find during COVID-19, and we've got to work alongside them because we were hearing some interruption there as we were trying to discuss what women are facing, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic, because, I think you were sharing, especially in Zimbabwe, where the network is very spotty, but we've seen that happening. It happened this week throughout the world where social media went down and everybody was scrambling to see what was going on. There was no WhatsApp, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram.
That's what we were talking about. How it impacted on the women's work, since they are all doing their work online and even had the opportunity to be able to sell their wares online. So how impacted were they on that particular day?
Yes, and I think let me throw another question to Lifa. We've seen, the president announcing an extension of the 2-week lockdown, but saying that now bars are open. How is that being received on the ground?
I think it had been a long time coming. There had been lots and lots of complaints. I know a couple of friends who be like, no, we're never going to get our bars open at this rate. So I'm sure it was quite a big relief for them to finally have this happen. I think the challenge is going to be the bar owners going to really insist on patrons being vaccinated, because that's what the president said, that you only allow people who've been fully vaccinated. Knowing our country, I don't know how they are going to be able to enforce that. So I'm hoping that is something that they'll be able to do. But personally, I'm not holding my breath. I'm thinking that after having been closed for so long, the temptation would be to just let one who wants to have a drink come in and have that drink. But we'll see how it goes. But I can safely say a lot of people are quite excited to have the bars and the nightclubs open once more.
Do people actually walk around with their certificates? How do people get checked to see whether they are vaccinated or not in Zimbabwe?
Personally, so far, I haven't been to any place where I've been asked for my vaccination card. But I think what I've heard is that the restaurant owners or the bar owners are supposed to actually ask for your vaccination card and to check whether you've been fully vaccinated. I don't know how practical that is. I don't know what happens if I say, yeah, I'm fully vaccinated, but I forgot my card. Or I don't know what happens to people who are fully vaccinated, but they lost their cards. Personally, I think I got vaccinated in March. So sometimes you lose the card. So I don't know what will happen in such scenarios. But I hear that we are in the process of having a computerized system where they can just use the barcode and be able to check online. But I don't know when that will be effective. So in the meantime, you have to carry your card around, and the bar owners are supposed to actually check physically to see if you've got the card and you've been fully vaccinated.
Thank you so much. Tanga tiri kunzwapo kubva kuna zvare Lifikanenare vari kutaura ivo vari kuZimbabwe vachitaura nezvekusangana nemadzimai vachitaurawo zvakare panyaya yekuti takaona mutungamiri wenyika vaEmerson Mnangagwa vachiti ivo nyika ichange yakavharwa hayo kwemavhiki maviri anotevera, asi vari kuti ivo vanhu vanenge vakabayiwa nhomba chete ndivo vachabvumidzwa kuenda kunzvimbo dzakadai semabhawa nedzimwe nzvimbo dzekufarira. Saka vanga vari kutaura ivo kuti izvi zvinotinetsei muZimbabwe kuti munhu anyatsozikanwa kuti akabayiwa ndiani kana kuti asina, asi Zimbabwe iri kutaura iyo kuti ichange yakuisa zvinhu pakombiyuta. Saka ndo zvavari kutaura vari kuita. Ndingaitimboenda kwamuri Miss Fundira. I think you have a second device that's on. That's why they speak that.
No. Should I switch my phone off?
If you can, yeah. But we can, okay, we can go ahead. Let's just hear and see how it goes.
Okay.
So how are you marketing your book during COVID like this? Muri kuwanikwa muchitengesa sei bhuku renyu kune avo vangada kunge vachiritenga?
So it's on Amazon for I think it's available for UK, in the States, France, and some European countries. And then kune vamwe vekuti, so for example, Zimbabwe, I'm going to have some books shipped. I'm going to have quite a large number of books shipped to Zimbabwe. And then what I'll do is I'll have designated people that will be distributing for Vaningwa Kutenga. But mostly I'm using social media. So Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp as well. My social handle is the same name, Shingi Fundira. And also some of it is literally word of mouth. One, I should get a repost on their social platforms. But the biggest part is that it's on Amazon. And unfortunately, people from Zimbabwe, they cannot access, they're not able to. Otherwise, it would have been, great if they were able to go tenga Rovarainda. But now I'm having to send my copies, and also trying to speak to a few bookstores and see if they can actually have the book in their stores as well.
Saka zviri kugoneka here panguva ino tinoona vazhinji vakuti vakungotarisana nesocial media, mabhuku avachaverenga. Muri kuwana here vanhu vari kunyatsoverenga bhuku?
Vanhu vari kuverenga variko, hanzi kudzidza akupere. Vanhu kuverenga unoita kwakasiyana. Ukaverengawo social media, you reap social media. There's a saying that says you reap what you sow. And kuchikoro tinoverenga mabooks. Yes, there's now technology, kune soft copies, electronic copies. However, kana uri munhu anoda kuzvidevelopa, anoda kuzviimprove in life, you're gonna have to read. So if I want to know more about you and there's a biography about you, I'm gonna have to read some form of information. And also what I tend to do is into my extras and do not from my book. And once in a while, I'm going to go up onto my snippet just to try and encourage them, because it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. However, slowly but surely, zviri kugoneka, and what you need to practice in this industry is patience, because you're not going to sell 1 million copies in a day. And Rome was not built in a day. So just nobody in the next 5 years, I mean, up until now, we reading my books, and TD Jakes and Joyce Meyer, books that were written a long time ago. Miles Monroe is no longer with us now, but we're still buying those, which comes back to just start. And kana nguva yako yasvika, dhoo rako ranzi richavhugwa, you will just best. Zvakafanira panopera fuel paya, majerican rinoita important in life. Jerican chairo rinenge riri story on demand. When we experienced COVID, Zumbani, everybody was after Zumbani. So you can understand, for somebody, Zumbani was just a normal plant, a regular plant. Nobody paid attention. But next thing, yanga ya my shelves, yanga ya kosha pa town. So and each thing has a season and a time. You will just wait for your time, but in the meantime, make sure you're fully preparing, you're developing, so that paunonzibaya tiunzeo uyai kuno muzotaura, uyai kuno muzotidai, so you are well prepared.
We're hearing the
these days, some writers are actually putting their books on audio. They call it audio book, right?
Yes.
Are you planning to do the same?
Yes, I'm planning to do the same. So as a new authoress, you have to do things step by step. Haungangojambira mvura, otherwise unonyura. So you anzi mwana akazvagwa anombotanga achipuhwa mukaka, paya ozonzi bota, ozotanga kupiwa more solid foods, you know. So I am getting to that extent, because I've realized, especially most men would rather listen to a book than read. You hardly find one maninguva. Some people want to do it on the go. So I am actually working on audio. Yes, I am.
Even women, because you want to be doing something else, we've got a talent of multitasking. So
Absolutely.
You can be driving, you can be doing something else, but listening to a book.
Absolutely, that's very true. So yes, I am working towards having an audio version of it.
I think that's the question I actually wanted to pose to Lifa. That we see so many people are on social media now. Are people in Zimbabwe reading, especially women? What are you seeing on the ground?
I wouldn't even want to blame this on COVID or social media. I think even before then, Zimbabwe had we've got quite a high literacy rate, but our reading culture hasn't been the best. So I think it's something that we need to work on. I remember long back we used to have the book fairs, where we were trying to catch them young so they could read. But I'll say today the reading culture is something that needs to be redeveloped, especially for the younger generation. Most of our children are not reading books, whether online or hard copies. They're just not reading. They spend most of their time on television, on social media. So I'll say it's something that Zimbabwe needs to really go back to and really need to redevelop for our younger generation.
Can I pop in and just comment on what you said?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because before I moved here, I went to high school as well, Kuzim, and I realized that the library was full of stuff like Anna Mills and Boone, and Macbeth, like stuff that really wasn't building us, Hence, you then lack the motivation to go and read, because manovo. So what I also then looked at, and what the other inspiration was, I touched on topics and things that affect us on a day to day. So money, love, friends, family, the things we say about our lives. So you're reading this and you're like, oh my God, this is where I'm at. I can resonate. So if you want to encourage people to read, you also have to try and identify their needs and then address those needs, because social media is addressing what they're looking for. So if we can then also try and encourage and address those needs through literature, which can be read from generation to generation to generation, I think we'll be quite successful, because we don't promote our own talents, we don't promote our own culture, we don't even promote our own literature. We're busy promoting But talk about, if you produced a book about farming, somebody who's interested in farming will go and get that book because they want that knowledge. Somebody interested in fashion will go and find out more. But can I got Romeo and Juliet, and you're not really touching the nerves or the points where Vanilla would need to be helped with.
Thank you, PJ.
Yeah, I'm also thinking that the advent of the digital media hasn't also helped much, because people just want microwave news there and there.
Short span.
Yeah, short span. They don't want to go like into the libraries to go and read. They just want something that is available, very easy, that is accessible. So it's going to be a problem to really go back and resuscitate reading books. What we can do, I think, from other writers that I've spoken to, they're saying, writers, you need to upgrade your game. Make it accessible to everyone very easily.
Absolutely. You've got like the ebooks, so you can get it on as a e-copy. But now the problem is the platform. So for example, I mentioned could be Amazon. So is there as a paperback and an ebook, because not everybody likes the hardcover. And then you've got the old school one. I tend to make notes, I tend to highlight, and then when I come back, I'll put notes, I'll put stickers, I'll put everything. So the information is there, but the only one bit that I'm now working on is the audio aspect of it. But yes, you are right, and I'm very congruent with what you said, because you need to make it available in all different forms and formats.
Even the Bible itself, we used to read the Bible the old way of marking and highlighting some verses and stuff like that, but all our Bibles are now electronic.
Yeah, but absolutely. I think what's very inspiring at the moment is to see young women like yourselves taking up writing. Because when you look back, you think someone who only writes in their, twilight.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking of doing.
And, that's a good thing, to be quite honest. Yes, which honestly, when I sat down during this COVID, I was like, I have to read the book. The kind of experiences that I went through, I was like, someone could learn from this. So I'm very excited to see young women like yourselves coming forward and, being the barriers for the, more mature women like ourselves.
Thank you.
Very commendable.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Kholifa, maybe just give us a few words going back to the situation in Zimbabwe, because we're so excited to have you on the program, because normally Zimbabwean network sometimes,
it really acts up like nobody's business.
So I just wanted to ask, there was something that was said today that the Ministry of Finance is saying that those shops that are selling using US dollars, their licenses will be revoked. What kind of currencies do people use when you go into the shop? Because when I visited Zimbabwe, there was like, you can use RTGS, you can use US dollars, you can swipe, you can, I don't know, lots of different methods. Tell us a little bit about that.
And different prices too.
I'm sure it must be pretty confusing for someone coming out of the country. But for us, it's like our daily bread. It's something that we don't even think about. So we know the best shops where you can buy using your Caucasian, the best shops for your US dollar, and the best shop where you get the best rates for your rands if you're in Bulawayo. So it's something that we almost automatically do now. But yeah, I've seen that, and I think it's the thing, because you never know from week to week, month to month, what our RPZ is going to say and what announcement is going to make. So I think that's the challenging thing, especially for business owners. So they tend to peg their prices, I guess, in the US dollar and then convert to other prices. Whereas the RPZ is saying you need to peg your prices in the Zimbabwean dollar and then convert to the US or the rand, which is not what's happening. I saw there was a lot of stuff going on today, especially around what you're talking about, Marvelous, with companies where they tend to give what they call a USD discount. So they'll peg something at $2. If you're buying using the Zimbabwe dollar, it will be like maybe 160 Zimbabwe dollar, which will equate to $2 US. But then say it's $1. And then say because you're buying in US dollars, they're giving you the discount in USD. And this is something that the RIPZ is saying it shouldn't be happening. So we'll see how it unfolds in the next few coming days and what the business owners, how they're going to react. Because for some shops, it's especially the almost informal businesses, it's definitely cheaper to buy in foreign currency. But now if you're going to establish shops, the supermarkets that we grew up with, your Pick and Pay, your OK supermarket, it's definitely cheaper to buy using the RTGS or EcoCash because they're using the official exchange rate, which works out okay, I guess, for people who earn in Zimbabwe dollar, which is the majority of working Zimbabweans.
Thank you so much. Over to you, TJ, as we round up. We've got a few minutes left, so maybe just round up and then we'll come back to our last guest and finish off.
Wothi ngisinike isikhathi lesi kulifa ukuthi usitshele inkuthazo bani ongayitshiyela bomama khathesi ubakhuthaza ngalezi zikhathi zobunzima ezokuthi kabenelisi ukunakekela imuli zabo njalo lange-vaccination program leyi ekhona.
Engingakusho PJ kubomama ngalesi sikhathi ukuthi asiqakathekiseni ukucela uncedo singesabi. Kakhulu abesifazane babetshela ukuthi umfazi kumele abe lesibindi agcine ulutho esifubeni sakhe, okwenzakalayo endlini yakho kumele kube ngokwendlini yakho. But ngibona ngani khonokho kuyabulala abantu abaningi. So kuqakathekile ukuthi njengabomama ube labantu bakho. Angitsho ukuthi usuzahamba utshela wonke umuntu udubo lwakho kumbe kuyini ongabe kuhamba empilweni yakho. But kuqakathekile ukuthi ube labantu bakho abaseduzane ozabatshela la ukuthi ngesikhiwa kuthiwa yikuventa. And I think kuqakathekile ngesikhathi se-lockdown because isikhathi esinzima kakhulu. Uyathola ukuthi izihlobo zikhatshana, abantu ababenelisi ukuvakatshelana. Even khathesi sokuthiwa i-city to city travel yavunyelwa, imali ayikho ngenxa yokuthi abantu bebengasebenzi bebehlezi. So engingakusho ukuthi kumele sifunde ukucela uncedo, ukukhulumisana labantu, reach out to other people, reach out to your friends. Nxa kuthi lo mngani wakho lesikhathi ungakhulumanga laye, just reach out. I think khona lokho kuyasinceda kwenza umthwalo wethu esibhekanela njengabomama bezimuli esikhangelelwe ngabantwana ukuthi lathi senelise ukuqhubeka sinakekele imuli zethu. Nxa kubuya ku-vaccine, I would say ukuthi omama abaningi yibo abayenelisa ukuya emaklinikhi. Esikhathini eziningi omama bahlezi besemaklinikhi, uhambisa umntwana ukuyahlaba. Siyakwazi ukuthi i-vaccination iqakatheke kongakanani. Akusilamhla sihlabisa abantwana bethu kusukela umntwana ezalwa nge-first day simhlabisa. Lakathesi asenzeni njalo, asikhuthazeni abantwana bethu bayehlaba, asikhuthazeni umkethu bayehlaba, asikhuthazaneni nje abantu esihlangana labo ukuthi bayehlaba ukwenzela ukuthi sithole impilo zethu zibuyele lapho ezazikhona. Zingeke maybe zibuyele kulokho kwakukhona, but yona le new normal sidlule kulokho sibe kwezingeni elitsha. I would say maybe kwesingakwenza sikhuthazaneni insuku zonke ekusebenzeni kanye lawo sekuvaccinatheni, siqhubeke njalo sibone ukuthi kuyasifikisa ngaphi.
Maybe if you could say
eyokucina ekamasalo ukuthi ayekele
kakhulu ukuthi obaba abakhulileyo abafundi ukuhlala phansi PJ. Ngiyazi ukuthi kunzima because njengabomama vele sithanda ukunakekelana sikhangelana physically, kodwa kwesinye isikhathi kuqakathekile ukuthi sikhumbule labo esizabachiya ngemuva, sihlale kuthiwa umuzi ngumuzi ngomama. Ngakho kuqakathekile ukuthi uzinakekele wena Masalu ungakanakekeli abanye abantu.
Yeah, marvelous.
Yeah, if you could say the same thing in English, what is your last word when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine, especially for women that are listening out there and are in Zimbabwe or worldwide, really?
Thank you, Marvelous. I think my message to women, especially in those difficult times of COVID, would be say we need to take care of ourselves. We need to prioritize ourselves and we need to start asking for help. It has been this thing that has been entrenched in most women that, you don't tell other people what you're going through. But I think in times like this, where we are already locked down, where you can't travel to be with your family, it's important that we learn how to reach out and ask for help. Sometimes you're not even going to get maybe tangible help, but just being able to talk to someone, just being able to say, you know what, this is what I'm going through, and have the other person say, you know what, I understand, this is what I'm going through too, or you know what, you are going to get through this. I think this is what we need to learn to encourage each other as women to do. Learn to reach out, learn to prioritize yourself, and learn to ask for help. And also, as I was saying to PJ, we need to encourage each other to vaccinate. We are women. We always go to health centers. We've been taking our children for vaccinations since from the day they are born. So we've been doing this for a long time. It's time, I think, we start encouraging our children, even the older ones, our husbands, our brothers, our neighbors. Let's have a discussion going. Let's discuss our fears around vaccination and help each other. I think it's something that we can do as women. It's said that women tend to talk a lot, we discuss things. So let's make vaccination a topic of interest. Let's discuss it. Let's see where we are today.
The 18th
And we also talked about the elderly women, vanamai, omama vetu, omamazala, who are always going to these funerals. And they say, if I don't go to the funerals, what are the other ladies going to say about me? Murai? What can you say about that?
I think when we're looking at our elderly people, yes, they do love going for gatherings. I think it's not even that they love going for gatherings, but it's because it's expected of them. They grew up in an era where you're supposed to go out and be with other people when there is something that has happened. I think maybe now we need to encourage them to say, you know what, even when you're not there, the reaching out is not just physical. There are so many other ways that you can reach out to people. And also, I think to tell them that, you know what, people don't want you in their houses at this time in particular. They really don't. So if you stay at home, you're actually doing them a favor. You're saving them the hassle of telling you to go back home. So maybe they might understand that one a bit better, because they are a polite people, so it might work.
Apo tiri kunzwa muzvare enare vari kutaura ivo pamusoro pekurudziro yavo yavari kuti kumadzimai nyanya vana amai, vana amwene, vana ambuya, kuti tinoziva kuti munenge muchida kuti muende kudzindufu nekumwe kwakadaro panguva ino yeCovid-19, asi zvakakosha kuti muende kunobayiwa nhomba dzeCovid-19, sezvo vamwe vanhu vanenge vasiri kutoda kuti vamwe vanhu vanobvawo kunze vauye vachizadza vanenge vari pamusha chirwere ichi cheCovid-19. Saka tiri panguva yakaoma yekuti ukatarisa zvinoda tsika nemagariro edu nemagariro ataakuita muzuva ranhasi zvasiyana. Asi nekuti nguva yedu yadyanana, let me switch over just the last comment from Shingi Fundira on where people can actually access you and where they can access your book and what it's called, because we've now really run out of time.
Okay, so book, can you see? Is it too much light?
Yes, now we can see.
Okay, so Identity Crisis, Unlock the Hidden Treasure Within You. You can get it on Amazon. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. It's Shingi Fundira, same name. And also, if you want to email Shini, SHINIE, Fundira @gmail.com. So Shini Fundira @gmail.com. So yes, that's where you can access. If you want like a signed copy, I can do it and then post worldwide wherever you are. To know with like a cost charge. But yeah.
Yeah, on that note, I'm really going to have to cut you off because unfortunately time is not on our side. But totenda kune vanyarikani vedu vanga vainesu nhasi pano pachirongwa chedu chemadzimai, tinotenda Shingi Fundira, munyori wemabhuku uyezve achiita basa ravanoti ivo life coach. Toenda kwamuri Mrs. PJ.
Yebo, ngithatheleli thuba-ke lokubonga umna wami uLifaqane Nare osincedisileyo kulolu hlelo. Uyintatheli izindaba kudala kwakhe. Hayi siyabonga mna wami. Sesifike-ke emaphethelweni ohlelo lwethu lwalamhlanje. Lisale yimi uPraxetis Jeremiah.
I'm Marvelous Mhlanganya here in Washington, and thank you to our guests and all those that were following this program. Please share, like as you go along. You have a very good evening.